In this review, I'll be road testing and beach testing this OUXI V8 e-bike. I'll show you what I like about it and where I see room for improvement for the bike and for myself. A quick thanks to OUXI-ebike.com for sending me this e-bike so I could try it out and show you. Now this e-bike comes with an 8.5 pound, 48 volt lithium battery that slides down the frame and locks to the bike. It takes about 6 hours or so to charge it up overnight. When the battery is attached, the bike weighs about 84 pounds. Now this e-bike comes with this cool pillion seat and footrests so a buddy can jump on the back and go for a ride. I chose to leave it off for this video because I'll be flying solo. To get rolling, you first want to turn on the battery and then turn on the bike by pressing this button on the center of the controller. This bright display is simple, but it tells you everything you're going to need to know, including the power level, speed, pedal assist, which you can adjust right here on the controller, plus the odometer. On the left, you have the horn, directionals, the headlight switch, and the headlight is pretty bright. On the right, you have the Shimano 7-speed gear shifter right next to the throttle. And of course, on both sides, we have the brakes, which I'll be using a lot in this review. And check this out. There are 2 key fobs and an alarm system that will prevent someone from taking off with your e-bike and alert you when they try. Now, before I hit the beach, I wanted to get a handle for this e-bike on paved roads and see what this 750-watt rear hub motor can really do. First of all, I know I mentioned this a lot in my videos, but I am 6'5", and I have to say that to give you some scale. And being 6'5", I like how the seat is 33.5 inches high and the frame is big enough so I don't feel like a complete giant on this bike. I also feel okay pedaling this bike. I obviously can't fully stretch out my legs, but my knees don't go above the handlebars, which is a big plus for me. But I want to start having some fun. So in third gear, let's get going with pedal assist level 1, which takes us to 10 miles per hour. Now at level 2, you can really feel the motor kick in. There's a surge of power that brings us up to 14.1 miles per hour. Level 3 caps out at 18.3 miles per hour. Whoa, hello bus. Now at level 4, my pedaling isn't doing very much. The motor is doing most of the work on its own, and the speed caps out at 22.8 miles per hour. Now I read on the website that the top speed for this e-bike is 32 miles per hour. And at level 5, it looks like it caps out at 31.2 miles per hour, which is good enough for me. This is definitely the fastest I've ever ridden an e-bike. Now let's test out the cable disc brakes. And they work. I did another speed test, this time just using the half-twist throttle. Now this e-bike has a weight maximum of 330 pounds. I weigh around 200 pounds and the bike weighs 84 pounds. With all that weight, I'm impressed that this e-bike reached the same top speeds at each pedal assist level fairly quickly. But will this cool-looking dirt bike seat, front fork shock absorbers, and 20x4 fat tires make this a comfortable bike to ride off a paved road? Well, here's a wide-open takeoff on a gravelly dirt road. Now this bike doesn't have rear suspension, and I felt that speed bump just now, but overall, this e-bike is still comfortable for me to ride on this terrain. Oh, I forgot to mention that the 750-watt motor has a peak output of 1,000 watts, which gives you this burst of surge power when you need it. And that's what got this bike to 31.2 miles per hour in 21 seconds. I'm pretty darn impressed with that. But as far as comfort goes, I wouldn't do any crazy off-roading with this bike because hardtailing it down a trail like this is pretty bumpy without that rear suspension. But man, if this e-bike can survive this trail, it can survive anything. It is rugged. Hey, if you're finding this video helpful so far, please give it a thumbs up and thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. In case you were wondering, I'm not going to do a wheelie right now, but I am going to show you how this e-bike handles on the beach. I spent a couple of long days riding this thing up and down a beach in Cape Cod Bay, and I had 2 reasons to do it. The first reason was that I really wanted to see how this e-bike performs in a beach environment. The second reason was that riding this OUXI V8 on a beach is a lot of fun. And overall, it handled well. This e-bike cruised along most of the beach without any trouble. The biggest challenge for me came when I hit the soft low-tide sand. That stuff puts a lot of strain on the motor, and I'm sure the battery too. The other tricky parts for me were those patches of deep, fluffy sand. At first, the e-bike would occasionally get bogged down, or I would totally lose control and grab the brakes. But after a bunch of practice runs back and forth, with more momentum and bravery, I started to get the hang of it. Now, I still wouldn't recommend riding over dunes or long stretches of soft sand, but with practice, I was able to get through the smaller sections without looking like a clumsy giraffe on an e-bike. Now, according to the marketing, the battery should last 37 miles using just a throttle and 60 miles in pedal assist mode. To get the most range out of the battery, pedal assist level 3 seemed like the sweet spot. The motor was doing some of the work, and I was doing some of the work. And the speed at that level makes for a great cruising pace for me. When riding along the beach, I made a point to avoid salt water as much as possible. I got close because it looks cool, but salt water, as I'm sure you know, is extremely corrosive, so I did my best to stay out of it. Even then, the bike still got covered in salt and sand. So when I got home, I covered the electrical contacts and spent a solid 5 minutes washing down the lower half of the bike. Drying it by hand would have taken forever. So I broke out my leaf blower / e-bike dryer, and after that, it looked like it was brand new. But riding this e-bike on the beach is so much fun, the next day, I went back out for a ride. When the OUXI V8 shows up at your door, the rear end is already assembled. The biggest jobs are attaching the handlebars and the front wheel. It comes with all the tools you're gonna need, plus a bicycle pump for the tires. After about a half hour of work, I was out riding. This e-bike looks really cool, and it's proven itself to me to be comfortable, rugged, fast, and a lot of fun. Hey, ride safe out there, and until next time, I hope you take it easy at the beach.